pledge. Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everyone. Okay, we have anybody sitting in the waiting room for public session? Nothing? No, Bill? Okay. All right. Any correspondence, Stefan?
No correspondence.
All right. Okay, let's go to the minutes. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes? Anybody have any changes they wanted to make on the minutes?
I'm sorry, I just wanted to, who sent the minutes? I couldn't find them tonight.
I sent them on Friday.
Okay, thank you.
I'll double check and make sure you were.
I'm sure I was. I'm sorry, Stefan. I didn't.
No worries.
A case in point, Kelly's not on video. Does she know that?
What's that, John?
Kelly is not on video. I see she's here, but I don't see her.
Yeah, Kelly is a black screen, right?
Yeah.
And she's on.
Does she know that?
I
Okay,
don't
I
know.
found it. Thank you. Got it,
No
Stefan.
problem.
She can't hear us either, I guess, or maybe she can, but she doesn't talk. I don't know.
I can hear you. I'm just not sharing my video screen.
Okay, all right.
Just did your hair, right?
Okay. Okay, are there any changes to the minutes? Anybody, any addition? I wasn't here, so, what, anybody?
Short meeting, Rosemary, 7:30.
I know, I saw that. I said, oh my God. It's a competition for tonight or what? Okay, if there's no changes, no editing, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move.
Okay, Julia,
I'll
and
second.
second? Who is
I
second?
Mary,
Okay, Mayor, okay,
Good.
all
You can
right,
have the next one, Nancy.
okay. Okay, Stefan, you want to go over the director's report?
Yes. I'm sorry. Who did the initial for the minutes? I'm sorry.
Julia and Mary,
Julia and Mary.
and there's one
Thank you.
abstention. Oh, I should say, all those in favor.
Right.
aye.
Everybody
Aye.
approved? All right, any abstentions? Me, nay, no? Okay, good.
Right. So, director's report. So, budget season is well on its way. As I mentioned last time, I was putting everything back in that I had asked for from last year. The guidance that we were eventually given was that, just to go as though it was a normal year, and then, we would get deductions or changes depending on what was going on. That said, when I did meet with them, they saw that I was asking for security cameras, and the finance director pointed out that we did have extra money in the part-time account because we haven't been running with a full contingent of part-timers this year. And yeah, they asked that I try and get that through the Board of Finance. So I'm meeting with Board of Finance tomorrow to see about getting the $15,800 in order to have the security cameras installed at both the main library and the Fairchild Library. The software and the hardware is already at Town Hall, so it doesn't require anything more than having the security cameras connected to our internet backbone, as it were. And once that's in place, installing the software on the staff computers that we're going to have both here and at the branch to have it up and running, hopefully within, I probably shouldn't give a date given the way things work around here, but hopefully soon. And I'm very excited about that because that would be one more tool.
This year's budget. then you're
I'm
saying.
sorry? Yes?
That'll come out of this year's budget.
Yes, it would come out of this year's budget, so we wouldn't have to, worry about that for future years.
Good.
It's sort of like a transfer of funds from one place to another.
Right.
Okay. Hello, Carol.
Hi, my apologies.
Hi, Carol.
Thank you for saying hi. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Staff development, we are going to institute a staff-wide sort of, career development thing for people who, because we now have the time. I've been looking at different webinars to use for them. Some of which I'm going to focus on with the part-time staff and others that are more relevant to full-timers. But we have things like dealing with angry patrons, staff interaction and cooperation, how to deal with implicit bias. Implicit bias is how we feel, about people that we might not be aware, and how it clouds our judgment and our behavior. And this is actually very important for libraries, in the sense that, and it's not just racial or ethnic or religious, but it could be things like political or age, for instance. A lot of older librarians, for instance, have hard time dealing with teenagers, and it makes it very difficult for them, and it compounds negative reactions that we then have with the people, or the teenagers that come in, because they feel that you're on edge, and therefore they're going to feel like they're doing something wrong, and it gets off on a negative start. So the idea is that you have a more aware staff, knowing where their implicit bias is. The other part behind that is also things like collection development or programming. So knowing that maybe you're being averse to certain types of collections, like, for instance, political. Maybe you're in one party or another, and therefore you're not going to buy a book from somebody on the other side. But that can have a real big impact on how things work. So finally, how to present the library. It's something called brand awareness, trying to figure out what it is that what kind of feel we're going for in terms of our library, and how we want people to experience it when they come in, or interact with us online or over the telephone, that type of thing. So this shouldn't be more than $150, maybe 200, but I've been working on getting the webinar from a place that had some very reasonable prices. I don't think that should be an issue. I did talk to Rosemary before last week regarding the newsletter. This wasn't on here. I've since talked to the people that are involved with creating it. We've noticed it's gotten a little bit wordy, and perhaps a little bit dense in terms of the amount of diction that we put on the screen when we're trying to promote programming. So they're going to start working on that, and just wanted to put that in there because I know Rosemary had asked about that before.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Stefan, because I also get newsletters from my library down in Florida, in Venice, which I know that Stefan is aware of, the Sarasota County, which is a very large library system. But when I get the newsletters on email, they're so eye appealing because they have graphics and they have something else that introduces the text, and it makes you want to be part of it. And I felt that our newsletter, when it comes out, you get tired of reading it because it's very dense with the text, with no graphics, nothing else with it. So I figured if it could be interspersed a little bit, it might be more enticing for the patrons to take a look at it and want to be part of it. So that's good. I don't know, I don't mean to make more work for everyone, but I thought it might, especially in this age where everyone is doing everything online, if we can stand out there a little differently, creatively, it might even bring in more patrons to want to use the library, because that's the only thing that's holding, I think, us together right now. We can't do anything else, so, well, thank you for looking into it with the staff. That's good, thank you. Any other questions for Stefan? No? All right, thank you, Stefan. John, treasurer's report.
Well, activity in board funds during January was very small, comprising of one small memorial contribution to income amounting to $50 and just a few disbursements. Included among the disbursements was support of the virtual, I guess, programming expenses that we used the Merwin Fund for. And we used the fundraising income to cover the monthly maintenance of the fish tank and some book purchases. Included in the latter, by the way, was also the very gracious gift card you gave me to aid my recovery that I referred to in I think of the blanket email that I sent you a little while ago, a month or so
That's
ago.
right.
So thank you much. Ranucci is very good. Have good pasta.
Good, very good.
And so that basically is my report. Nothing more to really say, just to let you know that our funds balance, since we haven't been spending much, is now at 124,532. So we'll be well positioned to help the library when we get to the point of having been able to do that. Thank you.
Thanks, John. John, just one question, or maybe it's more to Stefan. In light of that balance, if we don't use it this year,
No.
do we lose it?
No,
No.
that's not in this case. We're like with the town funds, yes, but we're much more careful with the town funds. But at this point, because the friends are becoming a sort of defunct organization, or have been a defunct organization, we're trying to save the money for when we're going to be able to use it, which is, hopefully in the next year. The other part behind that is, we would like to also rejuvenate the friends, create a new sort of group to lead it into the future. Rosemary, you sent the link from the Sarasota Library Foundation, which is a friends group. I mean,
I thought it might be, yeah.
so I mean, but it's done very well. They have like an online like donation page, I forget what the
It was for Valentine's Day.
yes, it was for Valentine's Day.
If you have a heart for your library,
Right.
help us out.
Yeah,
And it was so cute. I mean, the way they had presented that was a separate thing from the newsletter. And I didn't know if we could ask for donations. But-
No, ideally, that would be the kind of activity that a modern day friends group would be doing.
Okay,
And because they are the 501c3 and they can fundraise, and there's no, they have, there are certainly laws and regulations regarding them, but it's not quite the same thing as, the town library, municipal side of it going out and doing the same thing.
right.
So, question for you, Stefan, if they're truly defunct, can we, as a group of whomever, just to keep the 503c in and not have to redo all, or can we do something about that to keep it sort of,
Yes, yeah.
okay.
I'm
I'd
going
be happy to help with that if you need me to.
I'm going to start pursuing that as soon as COVID restrictions start dropping. Part of it's going to require, having people sign over the ownership of this 501c3, and that has to be done in person, among other things. And we have to have people that we would be signing it to.
Correct.
And so, like, I have a few people in mind, but it has to be something that.
Of course, right. But if you want, I would be happy to help with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just an aside, my family was going to be making a sizable donation of books, probably close to 600 in a couple months. We're cleaning out my father-in-law's apartment. He lives with us now.
Give me
Beautiful books.
give me a phone call and we can figure out.
Yeah, I'll give you a heads up.
Well, we had the books from the library that the Friends of the Library had. I remember you saying something about with the Kennedy Center. Did you
They were doling them out, weren't they?
donating it? Is that what was
Yes.
happening, Stefan?
Yes, yeah, I should note, we will still have like an internal book sale and things of that going forward. So there is going to still be there still will be a book sale. But
Okay.
as far as all of the material that the Friends had accumulated over the course of the past several decades in that shack, we're interested in having it go to some place where it's going to be able to be of more use. The plan originally last year was that they were going to have this week-long book sale like they used to do back in June, and that never materialized as a result of the COVID
Sure.
crisis.
Right.
So, moving forward, and we had talked to them about it, that they did want to be done with it. So they had gotten in touch with the Kennedy Center, among a couple other places, and have been distributing to them through that time, which is good. It's time to move on. I think this would be a good point of transition, I think.
So with regard to donations, we're not, I mean, not Carol, because you're gonna make a,
Currently, we're not accepting.
we're not, right, okay, just because we always do a tag sale for charity, my girlfriends, and someone was asking me, well, what about the books? And I said, I don't think we're taking books right now. I just want to be sure. So, and that's just indefinitely because of COVID for now.
For now, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's simply like until the guidance changes, we're still doing, quarantining of all the materials that are returned back to the library, which is it's a labor intensive and it's a space intensive process, and we don't really want to get into the business of having to worry
No,
about the
that's-
donated books at the
that's
same
true.
time.
That's true. Okay. All right, any other questions for Stefan? Okay, Mary, Nancy, Fairchild, anything to report there?
I don't have anything to report.
How's the elevator?
Pardon me?
Nothing. I'm being flip. How's the elevator doing?
The elevator.
We do have, it's not official business, but our manager had a family death. And so we've been helping her or acknowledging the loss and dealing with that the last month. And it was a very traumatic occurrence for her. And Stefan knows more than I do probably, because he has seen her more often. But I think it's been a significant interference in her life. And actually, she's taken some time off, right, Stefan? Is she's back full time now again?
She's back this week, but last week it was a bit hit and miss. This week she's been back to work. Yeah.
Mary, do you have anything to add?
No, we had very short meetings. There's nothing else to add there. Thank you, Nancy.
Okay, all right. Anything under old business that we need to discuss? Anything that was left over from last month? It's been kind of difficult to have these meetings. I know. Anything new? Anything anyone wants to bring up?
Excited about the podcast club. I'm going to try to go tomorrow night. I listened to I think Stefan told us about this last time. It's like a book club, but you listen to podcasts, and it's about it's a podcast about Hurricane Katrina, and it was really interesting.
There's some really awesome podcasts out there that are done with very high quality and like either interviews or sound effects or graphics that come, and it's quite quite enjoyable, even if they're not particularly long, or if they're just like an episodic thing. So there's only like 4 episodes or something. But some of them are really cool, especially like the murder kind
Yeah,
of
serial,
podcast,
like serial,
real crime. Yeah.
Yep. You know, this one, it's Atlantic Monthly put it out, which is, you know, obviously such a reputable magazine. And I had to stop myself and just listen to the first 2 so I didn't get ahead of the podcast club. So hopefully there'll be people there tomorrow night.
It's like Ken Burns for your ears. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're driving.
Right. All right, if there's nothing else going on, and motion to adjourn? Mary? All right, second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, everybody, that's it. What is it, 7:27?